What if I told you that there's a way to keep your home always spotless, without spending hours cleaning every weekend or feeling overwhelmed by the endless cycle of clutter? What if you could permanently escape that feeling of chaos, that low-level anxiety that hums in the background when your space is a mess? In fact, there's a culture that's mastered a system so efficient, so deeply ingrained, that keeping things tidy is as natural as breathing. I'm talking about a set of habits rooted in centuries of philosophy, habits built on simplicity, functionality, and peace of mind. Habits that will transform your home from a source of stress into a true sanctuary. This isn't about buying more organizing bins or finding a new cleaning hack. This is about changing your relationship with your belongings and your space from the inside out. If you are exhausted by constantly organizing, tidying, and decluttering, only to watch the mess creep back in just a few days later, then this video is for you. I know that feeling. It's the frustration of a weekend lost to chores, the guilt of not wanting people to drop by unannounced, and the decision fatigue that comes from just looking at piles of stuff. The 7 habits I'm about to share are not just about cleaning. They're about creating a life where organization becomes so natural, so effortless, you won't even realize you're doing it. Imagine for a moment waking up every single day to a home that feels like a peaceful retreat, a space where everything has its place, where your mind feels as clear as your countertops, and no cleaning task ever feels overwhelming because nothing is ever truly out of control. Stick around because habit number 3 is a practical game changer that you can start tonight. And the philosophy behind habit number 7 will reshape how you see everything you own. Before we dive into this transformative journey, if you're ready to say goodbye to clutter for good, take a moment to hit the like button to let me know you're with me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more insights that can help you build a calmer, more intentional life. Share this video with anyone you know who struggles with clutter. It could be the key that finally helps them too. The first habit, mindful consumption. How do you stop a flood? You don't just bail out the water faster, you go to the source and turn off the tap. How do you stop clutter before it even begins? What if you could cut off its supply line for good? This first habit is the most important one of all. It's the final gatekeeper, the one that makes a tidy home permanent, not just a temporary state between cleaning frenzies. It's called mindful consumption. The real fundamental reason our homes get so cluttered is the mindless accumulation our culture constantly pushes on us. We're bombarded with ads, sales, and social media trends that manufacture desire. We buy out of boredom on a Tuesday night, out of stress after a long week, or simply out of habit because we see a good deal. Mindful consumption is about consciously turning off that faucet. It doesn't mean you must deprive yourself or never shop again. It just means every single purchase is a conscious, deliberate choice that adds genuine, lasting value to your life. So how do you practice this? Before you buy anything, whether it's a new shirt, a kitchen gadget, or another decorative cushion, just pause. Create a mandatory waiting period. In that pause, you take back control from the impulsive, emotional part of your brain. Ask yourself a series of critical questions. Why do I truly want this? Is it a genuine need or a fleeting want triggered by something I saw? Where will it physically live in my home? Do I have a designated spot for it? Do I have the time and energy to clean it, maintain it, and care for it? This simple act of questioning creates a crucial space between impulse and action. In that space, you can make a rational decision instead of an emotional one. More often than not, the intense desire you felt just a moment ago begins to fade. You've successfully practiced the art of refusal, a quiet but powerful skill in our noisy world. This isn't about deprivation, it's the exact opposite. It's about gaining more time not spent managing stuff, more money for experiences that truly enrich you, and more mental peace in a space that isn't overflowing with things you don't even remember buying. This is the key. You could master every other habit, but if you don't become the gatekeeper of your own home, you'll be fighting a losing battle. Turn off the tap. If this idea of mindful living resonates with you and you're ready to become the gatekeeper, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button if you're ready to turn off the clutter faucet for good. Think about it. It's the physical and mental clutter from the outside world, spilling right through your front door every single day. This next habit is a powerful ritual that stops that chaos in its tracks, creating a clear boundary between the world and your home. In Japan, the entryway is called a genku. For centuries, it has served as a distinct architectural feature that separates the outer world from the inner home. The custom of removing shoes before entering a house dates back over 1,000 years in Japan. A genkin is not just a place to drop your keys, it's a critical transition zone. Creating this boundary is more than just practical. It's a powerful psychological buffer. It helps you consciously shed the dirt, stress, and mental load of the day before you step into your sanctuary. You don't need a special sunken floor or a traditional Japanese home to implement this. The key is to consciously designate a transition zone right by your front door. The number one non-negotiable rule: shoes come off the second you walk in. This single action drastically slashes the amount of dirt, dust, and grime tracked throughout your home. Get a durable mat for shoes, perhaps a small bench to make removing them easier. And consider getting some comfortable indoor slippers to change into a small luxury that reinforces the ritual. Then expand the system. Give everything that enters your home a designated landing spot within this zone. Install hooks for keys and coats. Place a small tray for mail, a containment field for bills and flyers. Have a designated spot for bags, backpacks, and packaging. The rule is simple but transformative. Nothing gets past this zone until it's been processed. The mail is sorted, junk mail immediately recycled, the coat is hung, the shoes are stored in a shoe closet, or get a bako and the bag is put away. This one change will do more than just keep your floors clean. It transforms the very act of coming home. Stepping out of your outdoor shoes becomes a meaningful ritual, a physical and mental signal that you are leaving the public world behind and entering your personal haven. It's a moment of mindfulness that says, I am home. I am safe. I can relax now. Try setting up your own Genkin zone this week. It's a small architectural change with a huge psychological impact. If you're enjoying these tangible tips, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on more life-changing habits. What if you could keep your home in a perpetual state of company ready, with just a few minutes of nearly invisible effort each day? This habit is the ultimate weapon against the number one enemy of a clean home: procrastination. Mess doesn't happen in a single dramatic event. It's the slow, silent accumulation of hundreds of tiny deferred decisions. The mail you'll sort later, the dish you'll wash later, the jacket you'll hang up later. This habit, often called the 1-minute rule or a daily reset, attacks this tendency at its root. The principle is profoundly simple. Never put off a task that you can complete in less than a minute. You're not cleaning, you're performing preventative maintenance that stops mess before it can even take root. So how do you put this into practice? It's about weaving tiny, immediate actions into the fabric of your day. When you take your shoes off in your Genkin zone, they go straight to their spot. When you finish a meal, the dish goes right into the dishwasher or is washed immediately. When you get out of bed in the morning, take the 60 seconds to pull up the duvet and arrange the pillows. When you bring in the mail, you sort it over the recycling bin right then and there. After you brush your teeth, you quickly wipe down the sink. Each action is minuscule, almost unnoticeable, but their combined effect is profound. To supercharge this habit, implement a 5-minute closing shift for your home each night, just like a coffee shop cleans up before closing. Before you go to bed, set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes and do a quick visual sweep. Wipe the kitchen counters, fluff the sofa cushions, put away the few stray items that have landed on the coffee table, and start the dishwasher. The magic of the daily reset is that your home is never more than a few minutes away from being perfectly tidy. Imagine the feeling of waking up not to the lingering chaos of yesterday, but to a calm, reset space that welcomes you into the new day. It's an incredible feeling that reduces stress and sets a positive, proactive tone for your entire day. This is the true secret to making tidiness feel completely effortless. Give the 5-minute reset a try tonight and see how it transforms your morning. If this is the game changer you were looking for, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to break the cycle of procrastination. The fourth habit, Mottainai, respect for objects and eliminating waste. What if respecting your belongings was the secret key to eliminating waste? And by extension, clutter. This next habit is not a trick or a technique, but a deeply ingrained cultural concept in Japan that will fundamentally change how you see every single thing you own. The concept is Mottainai, a Japanese term that conveys a sense of deep regret over waste. It can be loosely translated as, what a waste, but it goes much deeper than that. It's about respecting the entire life cycle of an object, the natural resources, the time, the energy, and the human labor that went into creating it and bringing it to you. Our modern disposable culture encourages us to use things up and toss them without a second thought. But Mottainai teaches us to see the intrinsic value in things beyond their price tag. This philosophy has roots in Buddhist teachings that emphasize the interconnectedness of all things and the importance of mindful resource use. So how do you practice Mottainai in a world of consumerism? You start by treating your belongings with care and respect, seeing yourself as a caretaker rather than just a consumer. Clean your shoes after they get muddy. Repair the wobbly leg on a chair instead of replacing it. Use every last drop of shampoo or toothpaste. In the kitchen, it means using vegetable scraps to make broth or finding ways to use leftovers instead of letting them spoil. And when you do decide to let something go, Mottainai guides you to do it respectfully. Donating, selling, or recycling an item you no longer use isn't wasteful. In fact, keeping an item you don't use hidden away in a closet is the ultimate form of waste, because you're wasting its potential to be useful and valued by someone else. The art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is mended with gold-dusted lacquer, is a perfect embodiment of this mindset. It celebrates an object's history and gives it a new life, making it even more beautiful for having been broken. When you truly respect an object, you naturally take better care of it. This mindset shifts your role from a passive consumer to a mindful steward. Paradoxically, this deep respect makes it easier to let go of things, because your goal is for the object to fulfill its purpose and be valued even if it's by someone else. How can you practice Mottainai? Look around your home and see if there's something you can repair, repurpose, or pass on respectfully. Let me know your ideas in the comments. And if you're finding value in these deeper concepts, a subscription to the channel goes a long way. The fifth habit: embrace the power of negative space. Now that we've talked about what to keep and how to respect it, let's talk about something just as important: empty space. What if the secret to a truly calm and beautiful home isn't what you put in it, but what you choose to leave out? This is the Japanese artistic and philosophical concept of ma. In Japanese culture, empty space is not a void to be filled. It's a powerful, positive element in its own right, full of peace, potential, and possibility. Think of it as the silent pause between notes that gives music its rhythm and emotion, or the unpainted space in an inkwash painting that gives the image its depth and focus. In the West, we often have an instinct to fill every surface, every wall, and every corner. But this constant visual noise is often the very reason a home feels cluttered and chaotic, even when it's technically organized. To practice embracing you must consciously choose to leave some spaces empty. It is an act of resistance against the urge to fill. Clear your kitchen counters of everything you don't use on a daily basis. Allow only one or two essential or beautiful items to sit on your nightstand. Consider leaving one wall in your living room completely blank. After you've finished decluttering an area, fight the urge to immediately fill it back up with something new. Live with that emptiness for a while, let it breathe, see how it feels. This isn't about creating a cold, sterile, or barren environment. It's about creating visual peace. It's about letting your eyes have a place to rest. When a room has this negative space, the few items you do choose to display become more prominent and beautiful, because they aren't fighting for attention amidst a sea of other objects. The entire room can feel larger, calmer, and more intentional. The Japanese character for combines the symbols for gate and sun, creating the image of sunlight streaming through an open doorway, a beautiful metaphor for the light and potential found in emptiness. Give it a try on just one surface this week, like your coffee table or your desk. Clear it off completely, then mindfully place back only one or two things that you truly love or need. Notice how it changes the energy of the entire room. If you're loving this feeling of newfound calm, hit the like button to let me know. The sixth habit: tidy by category, not by location. So you're inspired and ready to declutter, but the very thought of tackling an entire room like the garage or the master bedroom feels so overwhelming that you don't even know where to begin. What if I told you there's a radically different approach that makes the process more efficient, more effective, and finally reveals the true scope of your clutter? This is the game-changing method made famous globally by Marie Kondo, but it's a principle you can apply regardless of the specific philosophy you follow. Tidy by category, not by location. The fundamental problem with cleaning room by room is that your belongings are scattered everywhere. You have books in the bedroom, the living room, and the office. You have coats in the hall closet, the bedroom closet, and hanging on a chair somewhere. You never get a true, honest sense of the sheer volume of what you own in any single category. Tidying by category fixes this by having you focus on one type of object at a time. So how do you start? You choose one category. The KonMari method suggests starting with clothes, as they are often the easiest to make decisions about. Then you must gather every single piece of clothing from every corner of your house. Empty the closets, the dressers, the storage bins under the bed, the laundry room, the coat rack. Pile every single item in one central location, like on your. The first reaction for nearly everyone is pure shock at the mountain of fabric you've accumulated. That shock is a crucial part of the process. Only then, once you see the totality of your possessions in that category, do you begin the sorting process. You pick up each item one by one and ask yourself if it serves a purpose in your life today, or as Kondo famously asks, if it sparks joy. This method is incredibly efficient because you make all the decisions about one category in a single focused session, preventing you from getting sidetracked by other items in a room. More importantly, it recalibrates your internal sense of when you see your 75 t-shirts or 20 coffee mugs in one giant pile, you have a visceral realization that you probably don't need anymore. When you're done, every single item you've chosen to keep has been handled, intentionally chosen, and now needs a permanent home. You're resetting your entire relationship with your stuff. Pick one small category this weekend to experience the power of this method. Don't start with clothes if that feels too daunting. Start with something manageable, like mugs, towels, or books. I'd love to hear how this habit works for you. Drop a comment below, and if you're ready to reset your home from the ground up, make sure you're subscribed for more. The 7th habit. Practice Danshari, the art of letting go. We have arrived at our final habit, and in many ways, it's the most foundational philosophy of all. What if letting go wasn't about a frantic one-time weekend purge, but a complete and total mindset shift that brings incredible freedom into your life? This philosophy is called Danshari. The word itself is a roadmap for a simpler life, composed of 3 separate characters: den, to refuse; sha, sa, to dispose; and risha, to separate or release. To separate or release. Together they form a powerful 3-step practice for living with less. First is den, to refuse. This is the active practice of stopping clutter before it even crosses your threshold. It's directly linked to our first habit of mindful consumption. It means politely refusing promotional freebies you don't need, saying no to hand-me-downs that don't suit you, and resisting the temptation of a sale. You become a conscious gatekeeper, choosing not to let unnecessary items into your home in the first place. Second is sha, to dispose. This is the process of mindfully getting rid of the things you already own, that no longer serve you. It's about looking at your current possessions, not through the lens of past cost or future what-ifs, but through the lens of your present life. The central question of Danshari is, does this item have a place in the life I am living today? If the answer is no, you let it go, disposing of it respectfully through donation, selling, or recycling. This step is about clearing out the physical clutter to make space, both literally and figuratively. Finally, and most profoundly, is risha, to separate. This is the deepest part of the practice, separating your own identity from your attachment to material things. It's the realization that your self-worth is not defined by what you own. It's about letting go of the need to possess something to appreciate its beauty. It's the internal freedom that comes from understanding that you are not your belonging. This is the ultimate goal, to detach from the desire to accumulate and instead find joy and meaning in experiences and relationships. The purpose of Danshari is to create a life where you are surrounded only by things that are actively useful or truly beautiful to you right now. This brings an incredible sense of lightness and freedom. You're no longer burdened by managing, cleaning, storing, and thinking about so much excess. It's not just about achieving a clean house, it's about achieving a clear mind. This philosophy is the deep-root system of a permanently tidy life. Which part of Danshari, refusing, disposing, or separating, resonates most powerfully with you at this moment? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. There you have it, 7 powerful Japanese habits that will do more than just clean your house. They will transform your home into a peaceful, functional sanctuary. This is a complete system. It all becomes permanent through the gatekeeping of mindful consumption. Your home is protected by the clear boundary of the Junkan gateway. The process becomes effortless and sustainable with the daily reset. Your relationship with your belongings is deepened by Mottainai, a profound respect for your thing. Your home finds its calm and beauty in the power of empty space. The overwhelming task of decluttering is made practical and effective by tidying by category. And it is all built on the solid foundation of Danshari, the beautiful and liberating art of letting go. Remember, this is not a race to perfection. It is a slow, intentional mindset shift that replaces the frantic, anxious energy of clutter with a quiet, deliberate calm. The goal isn't just a perfect-looking house for a social media post. It's the peaceful mind, the clarity of thought, and the genuine freedom that comes with living intentionally. Start small. Don't try to implement all 7 at once. Just pick one habit this week, the one that resonated with you the most, and practice it. Watch how your space, and more importantly, your life begins to shift. You absolutely have the power to create a home that supports and nourishes you. I would love to know which of these habits you're most excited to try first. Let me know in the comments below, and let's support each other on this journey. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for being here, and here's to finding your own sanctuary of calm.